Hello, everyone. Welcome to Closet Dressing Room and welcome to our second episode. I'm excited today to welcome you all. Thank you, Dimes and Gems, for tuning in again to Closet Dressing Room. And the purpose of Closet Dressing Room is to reach out to, well, really to create a community because we must remember that creativity is fueled by people that are just getting started in the industry, and we celebrate telling stories of brands and innovation. And my name is Kiki Strain, CEO of KLAZET, and today we are going to combine fashion with education by tapping in to with Miss Keely Clay, who was also featured in Jezebel magazine for being one of the 50 innovative Georgians in technology for women that are in technology. And we just want to celebrate her. And she has been personally an inspiration to me as one of my professors at Kennesaw State University. And I just want to, welcome her. Everybody, please give a virtual clap for Miss Keely Clay.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for joining me today. Like I was just saying to everyone, I'm just excited about having you because you have been inspirational to me. You have always been like a light, when I went to school. So I'm excited about having you and coming full circle.
I appreciate that so much. That's what makes me continue doing this is when I have students that excel like you and they tell me, wow, you really made an impression on my life. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing the right thing.
Yes, you are. So I wanted to start out today because, like I was saying about telling people's stories, because every path is different, and I want this to be encouraging to other people to see how the journey they can continue as well. So, like in the beginning, like, did you always know that you wanted to be in the fashion industry?
It's actually a funny story. I'll try to make it short. I always had a passion and love for animals, and so I wanted to be a veterinarian. And that was up until about age 8. And if I wasn't outside playing, then I was inside with my Barbies, cutting their hair, cutting their clothes. And my mom was like, Keely, you can go to school to be a fashion designer. And I was like, what? What is that? Tell me more. And then I just began collecting Vogue magazines. And then from there, I was just on that path that I'm going to go to school for fashion design.
Wow. So your mom like kind of gauged you to like let you know like, hey, this is a journey for you that you can actually tap into. And then the light bulb went off like, oh, okay, I can make money doing this.
Absolutely. I was like, I can make money and be successful and do something that I love. And, the saying goes, if you do what you love for a living, you'll never work a day in your life. So that's definitely true.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. And what would you say, like, okay, so when you was going like in not elementary, like in middle school, high school, like were there courses that you took to kind of help you?
I did. I had a few courses here and there. I really took the majority of my art classes in high school. And then back in the day, we had what was called home ec, where you would learn recipes and sewing skills. So that was really interesting to me because I wanted to learn how to sew. And we just learned how to do a simple sack dress that you would make out of fabric. So there weren't that many seams to sew. So that got me interested in still pursuing that passion because I was like, this is everything that I love to do and I can implement it together. So there were a few courses, not as many as I would have hoped there to be, but there were a few.
And so from that point, how was like the journey to college?
Well, in my household, my mother, she's retired now. She woman's health nurse practitioner, and she went back and finished her degree after I was born. And then my father, he also went back and finished his degree after I was born, become an electrician. So in my household, there was never the discussion, if you're going to school, it was where are you going to school and what do you want to be? So it was extremely important. So that was kind of my pathway. It was just find the university that's going to give you the best education, and then keep pursuing your education.
So when you were like thinking about going to college, were there like many choices that you thought about? Because some people go to private, public, like, but was there one that stuck out to you, or many?
I found out about Savannah College of Art and Design, and back then they only had the Savannah campus in Savannah, Georgia. And so once I found out about that school and we went and toured the school, that was it. So that was the only university that I applied to. And my parents kept trying to say, Keely, look at other universities. And I was like, no, this is exactly where I need to be. I just feel that this is where I need to be. And that's the only one I'm applying to. Thank goodness it worked out for me. I would not suggest doing that, but it worked out in my favor.
Well, that's awesome. So when you started at SCAD, because, I've heard about SCAD too, which is an awesome university. Like, were there like any particular designers you were using to like drive you towards, or your creativity kind of, that you like, that inspired you?
Yeah, I would say I started collecting Vogue magazines very early when I got interested in fashion design. And one of the designers that I just honed in on was Bagley Mitchka, because their designs are just effortless. They're glamorous, sophisticated, and they just really have that timeless aspect to them. So I just found out all I could find out about them. And I wanted to do evening wear. So that was even more why they were my favorite designers. And then when they came to SCAD to do a tutorial session on draping, and they're standing right in front of you, it's like, okay, keep your cool. These are extremely famous designers, and you're learning from them, and they're your favorite, but don't let it show on the outside. But on the inside, I was like, oh my goodness, what an opportunity that you're never going to forget.
Yeah. And I agree with you, because I like all my trimmings, please.
Yeah.
All my embellishments. So yeah, I agree with you. So now we're at the point that you're in college, and there's some students that are in college right now, and they're like going through these rigorous classes. What would you say, like, how did you weather through, I would say, the class load? Because I know for me personally, like going to school, working 2 jobs, how did it, what was your experience with that?
Yes, it's it's extremely hard when you're working and you're going to school full time. The one thing I would have to say, well, 2 things actually. The one thing that got me through SCAD was just unbreakable, and that's life in general. Okay, so you're going to get cracks along the way, but it's not going to break you. And you have to have that mindset, because there's so many things in life that will try to break you. But if you have the mindset that I'm going to be unbreakable and I'm going to get through this because I have my eyes set on this prize that I'm going to conquer, then you'll be able to do it. So that's my first thing, because, art is very subjective. We do not like the same foods, the same music, the same colors. So you're going to have critics. That's life. You need to be able to take the criticism they give you and let it make you stronger. Apply it to your art. Don't, at first you're going to be like, do you know how hard I worked on that? And you're telling me, what? Excuse me? Who do you think you are? No, you ask questions, and find out deeper why are their thoughts that way, and it'll make you a better person. So that's the first thing, is just making sure that you're very unbreakable. And then 2, just take in all the knowledge that you can and every opportunity that you can, because the opportunities that you have while you're attending school, they can fizzle out if you don't keep them up once you begin working. So you want to make sure, any courses, any free programs you can go to, any activities for networking. You never know 10, 15 years down the line where you're going to be saying, you know what, I should have kept in touch with that person, because look at what they're doing now, and I could have that opportunity.
I agree with you. Like, people that are in college right now are in the perfect networking
Oh,
environment because you're all fresh. You all need to, have something. You're all expiring at that same time. Once you
yeah,
get out there in the real world, they might act like they never met you, and they like,
exactly. They're like we graduated together. You don't remember me? That, and then all the great resources there are, Fashion Group International, International Textile Apparel Association. They have all these great student fees that are so cheap for you to do that once you graduate, you're going to see they're not so cheap. $200 a year, it could be $2,000 a year, depending on what association it is. So if you get in there while you're a student, it'll help you, not only secure internships, but also employment. And that's
mm-hmm.
that's the other thing. I'd say a third thing.
Yeah.
You can be a genius and you can just be talented with everything in your life. But if you do not have passion and drive, it's not going to get you anywhere. You have to make sure that what you have your eyes set on, that you're going to complete it and you're going to do it. And those things combined together are what's really going to make you successful. So just, keep the passion, keep the drive, and then your talent will get better.
And I would say, rebutting on keeping the passion, your passion that you exude also is inspirational because just how you just said that, it was like, you can feel it in your spirit, like, oh, okay, I got this. And like, even though you feel like you're not absorbing stuff when you're in school, because there's so much coming at you, then you go somewhere and then you realize that you know more than you really know.
That is so true. Because I remember I used to come home, in college, we'd get out for Thanksgiving and we didn't have to go back till after the new year. And I did a couple of funny things. One year that I worked in a paper mill and I would work 12 hours night shift and day shift. And so that would really let me see, because in my household, it was, you better not make anything less than a B. If you make anything less than a B, then you need to re-examine your life because you're not trying hard enough, okay, for this education. And you could be working somewhere else and this is what you would have to do. Mm-hmm. And so that really, strived me to continue with my education and not get caught up in all the other things that college students do. I just focused on that and then focused on working. But you have to keep that passion alive and don't let anybody take it from you. Because when you're in college, you're taking 5-6 courses and you're thinking to yourself, am I absorbing this? And I would come home and my mother and I would go shopping and she would say, well, what shirt do you find is the best one? And I'd pick this up and I would say, well, this one. And she would say, why? And I would say, because of the quality of fabric, the cut of the silhouette. And she'd be like, see, you are learning information. You feel like you're not, but you are absorbing it. So that's very true.
Yeah, I can speak for my kids when I don't think they're listening to me. The next thing I hear one of them saying the same thing, like, put your shoes in your room so I don't trip over you. I'm like, oh, okay, so they do hear me.
They do, yeah. I do the same thing with my son all the time.
So, like, did you find like there were any teachers or something that inspired you while you were in college that like kind of pushed you into wanting to go into teaching, or how did that come about?
Well, the teaching really, continuing my education to get my MFA was my parents' idea. I was like, I am burnout. Y'all have had me in school since I was 3 years old. Okay, pre-K. I'm ready to be done. But they were like, Keely, I think they saw it in me that I would be good at education, but I never did. And they were like, why don't you just go ahead? It's always great to further your education, have it in your back pocket if you need it. But when I was in grad school, undergrad, I had a great professor that really inspired me. And then in grad school, during my internship, I had another one. And I would really take what both of them taught me and implement it into the classroom. And in the classroom, I always come in and I say, there are no ignorant questions. Only the questions you don't ask are the ignorant ones. And I'm the type of person, you have to show me something 3 times, but on that 3rd time, I'm going to get it. Okay. So that's how I teach my class visually audibly. I also teach them by showing them. So I try to combine so many different teaching methods because there's so many different learning ways for different students. And I make sure that if someone's not getting it, then I'm going to go back over the material again because I don't want to leave anybody behind.
And that's important, like seeing, like with your hindsight, that you can see, like foresee that somebody's not picking it up. Because sometimes people are too embarrassed to even say, I don't understand this, while everybody else is just bypassing them. So not being afraid to ask questions, you know, ask them.
It's so important. That's how we learn. And it was just so interesting because when I finished up my second internship at SCAD, I said, wow, you know, I really love this. I mean, I did do work in the industry. I taught a little, went away from it, came back to it. But it was just so exciting to me because every class, every semester is totally different because you have new students. So it's new projects, new ideas, and you're able to inspire new students. And so that really makes me excited because I guess you would say it's not which professors inspired me, it's which ones didn't that I learned the most from. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to take that. I'm going to change it around and I'm going to make it where it's better for everyone else.
Yes, that's a good point. Sometimes it's not just about the positive people. The negative people can also influence you better as well. So thank you, haters.
Exactly. Round of applause.
Yeah. So and so putting yourself in the student shoes is a great way to, you know, tap into what they need as well. Also keep you fresh in the industry always because you have these fresh ideas always coming in. And that's like why, like in the fall, like KLAZET is happy and excited about partnering with KSU with our Seeds of the Future program. So we can continue to work and innovate because those students need to know that their dreams are not burnt out, even if they're deferred. We're here to keep like pushing the boundaries, right?
And it's going to be so wonderful with them because it's going to help on their portfolio that they're working with an actual client with real world experience. So that's going to help them tremendously.
And also that they're people from around the world that KLAZET works with. So, you know, they're getting a real world experience, not just domestically, but also giving them, you know, insight on what we're viewing over here in the United States, you know, to also help them. So it's just expiring. I'm just so excited about it.
I too. I can't wait.
So let's dive into like Kennesaw, since we're on that subject of talking about Kennesaw. Can you tell us about, because there's people still like in Georgia that doesn't even know that Kennesaw has a fashion program that is affordable. So can you tell us about some of the classes, the coursework, like, or, you know, what KSU offers in that department? Because I'm sure people would want to know.
Absolutely. So we are under SOAD, which is School of Art and Design, and it is Apparel, Textile Technology. So you would receive a bachelor's in Apparel, Textile Technology, and it's really a broad term. So anything in the industry, we tap in on it in coursework in a class. So you have sourcing, product development, draping, CAD, computer-aided design courses, principles of merchandising, visual merchandising. There's just quality assurance and analysis. It's sewing. So this way, when you go to look for employment, you're not pigeonholed on it's got to be merchandise or it has to be in design. It can be in anything that inspires you. And it's really neat because you'll see the students come in and they have their mindset, oh, I want to be a buyer. And then they take the math buying course and they go, no, I don't. And they change their mind, or I want to be a designer. And then they look at product development and they think, well, that's kind of the same thing, but I can also do trend forecasting. So they're just really able, and you're able to work with your professors and instructors, and then they can help you in the industry for internships or employment when we know where to guide you and where you best fit. So it's an amazing program. You know, I wished I would have known about it because 4 years at public university with Hope and Pell Grant, and then your MFA, that would have been, you know, less student loans, but it's a great option, and not a lot of people know about it. So, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm always here.
Yes, because I mean, Kennesaw is about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast you drive, from outside of Atlanta. So
Yeah.
we're right here where all the entertainment is, where the hub is. We have all these movies that are being produced in Georgia. So much opportunity. And also, y'all have a new program that y'all have added with the textiles, right?
Yeah.
Textiles and surface. Can you tell us about that? Because I want to go back.
I know. Take a few courses. It's surface and textile design. So you'll be able to get your bachelor's in that. And you will still have ATT, but also surface and textile design. The courses should be coming soon. So just make sure to check out the KSU webpage under SOAD for that. I don't know about this fall, but by spring we should have course offerings. So it's going to be anything with weaving on looms. It's going to be dyeing, print design, that kind of thing. And there's so many resources in Georgia. Shaw Industries, Dalton Carpets, Milliken, Packcraft. So there's a lot of diverse places for if anyone wants to stay in the state of Georgia, but there are numerous opportunities inside the USA and outside of the USA with this degree. And it's going to be great too, because ATT students can then use some of their free elective classes to take some of the surface and textile design classes.
Wow. So just innovation. And I did read an article about KSU, how I think it was record-breaking admissions, and it was like 40,000 students. So there's two campuses, the Marietta location and the Kennesaw location, which makes the university even larger option for classes. So Kennesaw is really setting, the standards here in Georgia for opportunity. Okay, and like to wrap up today, I don't want to, but
this is going so well.
Do you have like a favorite quote that motivates you, or that you stand by, or your own saying that you like?
I think I have two. So the first one is, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So that goes back to that whole idea that I keep with me. And then the other one would be something that my father always says. He says, do your best until the best gets there. No, don't slack on your work. Don't let it overconsume you either, but always strive to do your best. And those are the two things that I would say I go by every day.
Yeah, that's all we can do is just try. And that kind of gives me, like, my quote is like for the day, because I love quotes. It's like, start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible. So it's just like you said, all you can do is your best, but just keep going. And then you're like, how did I do?
Yeah.
I don't even know how I did that, but I did.
Exactly. You think it's this huge mountain to climb, but you just take it little by little, and next thing you know, you're on the other side of the slope, and you're like, look at that, I did that.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Keely. I really appreciate you today chiming in with us. Is there anything else you want to leave us with, or I did put your your LinkedIn on here on streaming. But if people can email you if they have any questions about the program.
Yeah, absolutely. Any questions at all, just make sure you can contact me and email me, and I'll be more than happy to reply. And thank you so much for having me on today. This was amazing. I always love speaking with you.
Thank you. And I appreciate you so much. And I'll chime in with you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. So thank you, everyone, for sharing your comments with me below. I really appreciate you chiming in. And please make sure that you follow KSU on their IG at Kennesaw State University. You can also contact Ms. Keely Clay by connecting with her on LinkedIn. You can search her name, Keely Clay, and it was also on the feed below. Remember, stay tuned. so you can see what we have, who we have on our next show with KLAZET. Remember to subscribe on our channel, KLAZET Dressing Room. And if there's something that you are inspired to want to learn about, just let us know by following us at KLAZET. That's at underscore KLAZET underscore on our IG. So remember to treat everyone with kindness, learn from one another, grow together. Thank you, Diamonds and Gems. I will see you next time back here in the dressing room. Bye.